In this video we're going to show you our DPA03 boom attachment. The boom attachment is this part here, connected to the machine with our lifting chains, and we're lifting this drum here. The boom attachment is very versatile. It's been designed to lift and move a variety of containers. Any containers that have handles, lifting points. We've got metal handles on this drum, and then we've got plastic handles, and we've also got jerry cans. So it's a very versatile attachment. The attachment can be fitted to a huge range of our DTP drum lifter models. So the boom quickly connects, and we can remove it and fit a normal catch as well, depending on what we're handling. We'll show you how to use it and how to unload all these containers. So we come forward with the attachment, place our boom above the container. We can orientate it by spinning or swiveling it. We line up our hooks with the handles, pump our lift handle here. You can see through the guarding that it's lifting correctly. It's always good practice though to come and just check visually, so I can see very clearly that the handles are attached to the hooks. It's also important to check the handles are in good condition. We don't want to ever lift a load where our lifting point is not safe or secure. And then lower down. And move away. So we're now lifting this MAUSER drum. It's a 30-litre MAUSER. These drums can be lifted with a standard catch, but if you're using the boom, we can lift from the handles. So we bring the unit forward. We can turn the boom to line up with the handles. May just lift up a little just to get our hooks closer to the handles. Often when you use the unit a bit, you can line them up and they nicely fit within the handles, but sometimes you just need to position them by hand. Once the drum's clear of the pallet, I'm just visually checking everything looks safe and secure. So it's important that the hooks are always fully within the handles. As with any load that's suspended, you will always get some movement, some swinging. So I'll just manoeuvre the unit around and see how it behaves. This drum's full of water. So it weighs around 30 kilos. Because the load may swing, it's important we just have nice smooth movement. So it's nice and gentle, coming to a stop gently and getting moving nice and gently. We don't want any sudden stops because that will encourage the load to move more. We'll come to a stop there. We'll lower down and place it on the floor. If needed, we can just come forward and release the hooks on the handles and pull the unit away. We've removed the containers that have two handles. The ones we're going to handle next only have a single handle. So I'm going to remove one chain and one hook and then move one to the center point. Whenever we're lifting an item with a single handle, it's important that we lift from this central point here on our pivot arrangement. We shouldn't just use one chain on the end because this will hang and it won't be level. So we want to lift from this point. So I'm just going to undo the carabiner and remove one complete assembly. I'll just put this out of shot. We're then going to release this one and unhook it from the boom. And then we have this central point, so we're going to hook that on, relock off our carabiner. And now we have our central point. The boom can swivel, but it won't make any difference because we're just lifting straight down the middle. So we'll get our white jerry can here, so 25-litre plastic jerry can. Bringing our hook above and then lowering down on top. Lower down a bit and we'll hook under the handle. check that everything looks good, hooked in correctly, and then pull the unit away. Lower down. Just need to give it enough slack that when we go to unhook, we've got enough slack in our chain. Push the unit away. And we're ready to get the next one. And the final blue jerry can. Bring our hook in, lift it up above, and then lower it down. Come forward, hook it into position, begin lifting. And just come forward and check before we move away. Fully picked up the handle. And move the unit away. Manoeuvring the unit. Again, just nice and gentle, no sudden stops or starts. Always keep the load under control. When we're moving with a raised load, we shouldn't have it at full height, we should have it reasonably close to the ground. And once we're happy with our position, lower down to the ground. Come around and release our hook. And gradually pull the unit away. We're ready to get the next container. The DPA03 attachment can be fitted to all of our DTP models. So our DPA08 counterbalance unit like this one, and our whole DTP drum lifter product range. If you've already got a unit, you likely have a drum gripper like this one already attached to the unit. So to fit the new attachment, what we'd do, we'd take the locking pin and remove it from the unit, so that just simply pulls out. We would then hold the catch with two hands, one at the bottom and one at the top, and unhook the catch. We'd then lift the catch up, and that completely removes the drum gripper from the unit. We'll now get our boom attachment, which I'll bring into shot. So here's our DPA03 boom attachment with a chain on each side. We hook these pins. You see here we have a pin. We have one on each side and one to the bottom. The top pins we hook over the top just by tilting the boom back. We then lower it down and the front pins hook into position. You see our front pins are just about here. And you see as I unhook it, the front pins unhook and the back pins are supporting the unit. As I mentioned, we can lower this down or raise it up depending on the height of container we need to lift. What it means is by setting the height of the lifting points close to what we want to lift, we get to maximise the lifting capacity of the unit. So when we're pumping our handle and lifting up this whole assembly, we're maximising the travel. So if we had a short container, it's good to have the boom starting off in a low position, or if we're lifting a taller container, we want to move it up and hook it in higher up. Once we've chosen a height, we take our locking pin and refit it back through the unit and out the other side. It's important as a pre-start check that we check the boom is hooked into the rack and that the pin has been secured to stop this from being removed. When the pin's in, there's no way that you can take this off the unit. While we're looking at the close-up area, we'll also look at the carabiners. So we have a carabiner top and bottom and our short link chain. We've got our lifting point in the centre here and two on the ends. If we're lifting a drum or a container that has handles and we have two handles, then we use two chains and two lifting hooks, and we lift the container using both of the handles. It's important that this attachment with two chains is only used for lifting one item. So we shouldn't be lifting multiple jerry cans or multiple containers. If we're using 2, it's purely for containers with 2 handles. We'll show you setting up the centre one in a separate section, but I'll show you now just how we can shorten the chain length as well. So we've got the height adjustment of the attachment itself, but we can also shorten the chain. So to do this, we unlock the carabiner. It's always important to lock these when they're attached. We then unhook the carabiner. And if we're going to shorten it up, what I'm going to do is just take the carabiner off completely, like so. Going to pick a link somewhere roughly in the middle. So we'll go somewhere around there. Going to reattach the carabiner to the shorter link. So we've shortened up this chain. And we'll hook it on like so. We then repeat that on the other side, making sure the chains are an equal length on both sides. This gives us lots of adjustment with the chain adjustment and the rack adjustment as well.